Hey, welcome back. We're up here on the property the camp's on. My buddy suggested we're gonna take the side-by-side to see if we can get back in by the camp. I don't know if we'll get back there or not with snow and all the rain we've had. But we're up here, we're gonna go back in, gonna whip up some lunch. I'm gonna take the coyote rig for a walk. Just to speaking of that, got the feature list today, and I picked up these Lancer magazines, and these are 1030s. I live in New York, so you know we can only have 10 round magazines, and sometimes I can find these actually cheaper than the regular 10 rounders. So I got these on a sale, and the funny thing is, and it took me some time to figure out why, but they're supposed to be 10 rounds, and you could fit 9, but there's no space, so it won't go into the magazine, so you can really only put 10. Or I mean, you can't put 10. You can only put 8, I'm sorry. Alright. That's 8 with a little bit of space so you could still get it in the rifle. But if you could look, you could see you really can't get the 9th in there, but then there's no room left for the spring. It's stuck there. So the thing that is frustrating about that is most of the time these cost more than your standard 30 rounds because they have to put the limiters in there. And because I live in New York, you can't, this is on there, you can't push the button. It's legally you can't take that off, so they're fixed in place. But I found out through a couple of emails, well, that they buy the limiters and they put them in, and then they glue the epoxy the butt plate on to make them compliant to be able to sell them, to ship them here. Problem is they use an aftermarket limiter which is designed for a different magazine. It's designed, I guess, for the Magpul, the MP or the PMags 10 rounders, so they don't fit right in here. So it is what it is. I paid for 1030s and I have 830s. It is what it is. Alright, we're gonna move some stuff over and head back to the camp. We'll get back to you in a little while. Stick around if you want. There's tons of it, and this is kind of the front ridge. My wife and I sit right over in there. Alright, so we found a spot, got a little bit of sunshine, plenty of space to set up our stoves and cook. Shoot the poop for a little while, just hang out in the woods, and that's about it. We'll get back to you when we get some food getting ready to go here. I'm doing something a little bit different today as far as my stove goes, so stick around. Gotta clean up some poop. Alright, so got the canteen stove. The normal way you would use these is upside down and feeding, but you don't get a lot of heat because the stove itself will block this. So I'm actually going to flip it, use it that way, and I got this little grate that I can put on top to keep stuff from falling down in. So we're gonna get the fire going and get some water heated up, and we'll get back to you in a couple of minutes. Make sure you clear leaves and stuff around when you're going to be using a fire like that.
Yeah.
Now, get back to you when I got some water going to heat up the MRE, because I'm not using the MRE heater today. I'm going to use some hot water. I'll show you another trick for that. All right. Yep. I'm using a fancy schmancy lighter today.
So I got a question for you.
Sure.
The solid fuel tablets that I have actually say they're made out of wood. They're not made out of an alcohol or anything like that.
Okay.
Is that permissible for this challenge?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean the march? Go out and cook something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any kind of stove. The only thing I was saying is like no like alcohol stoves, no liquid fuel.
Right.
Like no alcohol or like propane, acetylene type stuff.
Yeah.
Solid fuel stoves, twig stoves, anything like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I did bring wood with me because everything is just saturated, and usually I'm not on any kind of a thing, but I do have to be back home today to go to my mother-in-law's to do some stuff. So I cheated. I used a lighter, a little piece of fat wood, and I brought my own wood. So a little bit of water in your canteen cup. And put it over some heat and get it hot. Alright, once that starts to get to a little bit of a boil, we'll show you a little trick here. My plan today for this was I had a pasta dish with the MRE that I was going to use. But we're doing some kind of a pasta tonight at the mother-in-law's, so I got some Mexican style chicken stew. What'd you bring?
I just brought a Mountain House meal. Yeah, it's kind of easy to make and clean up and that.
What do we got in this one? We've got a cracker. Don't need that. I'm gonna save the heater. What is this? Chocolate hazelnut protein drink. I might save that too. I need to throw those away. Mixed fruit. An energy bar. Of course, we've got the chili stew, Mexican stew. Cheese-filled pretzels. Spoon. Jalapeno cheese spread. Little thing with some Tabasco and some gum. And I'm glad this one doesn't have coffee, but I've got coffee. Mixed fruit. Everything else. I think I'll leave the crackers out. Well, I forgot to turn that off, so I guess you're seeing. So hopefully you can hear me over there. Now we'll turn it off for a little while. while that gets up to heat. It's getting there. And that, people, if you've never seen one, is a neutered, New York State compliant modern sporting rifle. That little thing is called a spur grip, and it's got a mag pull fixed stock, because if you want to be able to take the magazine out, you can't have any of the fun stuff. Alright, so that's pretty well hot, so I'm going to show you how we do this. Let me put the camera back on the tripod. Alright, so this is pretty close to, it's got a little bit of a light boil. So once you get it to there, take it off, send it over to the side. Take your meal, just kind of stick it in there, let it sit for a while. The heat from the water will heat it up. Well, here's some advice. I wouldn't use that water to make coffee or tea or anything afterwards, because you don't know who's had the grubby mitts all over the outside of that or what chemicals are on it. So I wouldn't do it. Get some more wood on the stove. The thing about this too is the corners of this don't really get super hot. Let's get the press on there. I don't have the coffee kit today, the brew kit. We've got the other French press for today. I'm just being goofy. So, keep my calls for the coyotes on this old cell phone. But usually, if you hear that chainsaw, coyotes love chainsaws. So if you're running a chainsaw, man, you got it made.
You got a good fire going. That's good.
I learned that trick with those stoves
Yep.
a long time ago, because I used to use them. And all of them, when you use them the right way, you flip them over and they got little holes in it.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it takes a long time to heat it up with just those little holes.
Okay.
So I started doing it this way.
Yeah.
Flip it over and just feed the stove and use a grate.
Now, how's your other one still staying hot?
It's not. I'm just letting that cool.
Oh, okay.
What I did was I heated that up.
Yep.
And then I put my meal in there, and that'll heat it up.
Oh, okay.
That was another trick I learned a long time ago too. Cool. Because most of the time, I didn't bother using a pan to heat those up. I would just take them out and eat them like you're supposed to.
Right.
And then, I don't know, 10, 15 or so years ago, they started putting these little heaters in there. You add a little bit of water, and it'll heat it up.
Oh, okay.
They work pretty good, but sometimes those heaters don't actually work.
Yep.
So I figured for today I would just show how I used to do it to heat those up and how I would work around these stoves. But my grate back in those times wasn't one of these new little fancy things you can get because they didn't have all this cool shit back then. Yes, I said shit. It was just a small piece of a like charcoal grill that I had used a hacksaw and just cut down to fit over the top of it. But my wife got me the whole kit. That canteen, because I already had the canteen cup and lid, but I wanted a spare one. So she bought me that, and it came with the stove, a lid, and it's got a little pot hanger. There's little holes in the sides of this here that you can put a pot hanger on. It's a bail, so that you can you could hang it over the fire instead of having to use this too.
Yeah, yeah.
But for today, I just wanted to show an option.
Yep.
I wasn't sure what the snow pack back here was going to really be like, so I wasn't even a lot to chance on a trip that sometimes we get to do and sometimes we don't. Like I think it was last year when there was like 18 feet of snow back by the camp we had to walk through. I'm just full of exaggerations today, people. I'm the internet. Back to what I was saying. Now somebody's got their radio going.
Yeah.
We're up more toward the front of the property, more toward the house and the road and stuff like that than back in by the camp. Alright, so audio files. And then also I've got a distressed rabbit, a couple of distressed rabbit calls on here.
Cool.
Because I don't hunt them enough, hunt coyotes enough to spend a lot of money on a fancy e-collar or anything like that. So I find that this has worked a few times I've went out and used it. So, coffee off. Push that down. This should be plenty hot. Whoa. We've got corn. A lot of corn. And a lot of salt.
How is it?
It's actually pretty good.
Good.
It's a far cry. More or less, they taste just like the Mountain House meals. They're just
Okay.
smaller.
Okay.
Back when they first started making these and issuing them, some of them were good, but some of them were pretty bad.
I got a handle with these Mountain House meals. They're actually pretty good. They cook pretty fast, and what I like about them is there's very little mess afterwards. You know, you're not like cleaning up dishes and stuff like that. So it makes it nice.
All right, so we're gonna eat, and we'll get back to you after we're done stuffing our faces. Another little trick. I broke off and made this little Y stick. The stove is still a little bit hot, and I want to take it over in the snow and dump it. So use the Y stick so I can pick it up. Magic. And then throw the stick away. Still pretty hot. Cheers. Yep, still pretty hot. So we kind of got stuff cleaned up. Came out. A couple of tips. We had some lunch, having some coffee. ADK Hiker 74 is having some water. And don't forget where the official home is. And that's about it. Gonna finish some coffee here. And we're gonna head back up out of here. Alright. Unless something magnificent happens, that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.